The Betrayal. Unveiled Captain. Elena Vasquez stood on the bridge of the ESV Prometheus, her dark eyes scanning the tactical displays that showed the peaceful trade routes of the Kepler sector. For 15 years, humanity had been proud members of the Stellar Confederation, an alliance of 12 alien species that governed this part of the galaxy. The Confederation had welcomed Earth with open arms, sharing technology and opening new worlds for human colonization. Elena remembered the celebration parades on Earth when the alliance was first signed. Now, watching the steady flow of merchant vessels moving between human and alien worlds, she felt that same pride her people had worked so hard to earn their place among the stars. The communications console chirped with an incoming transmission. Lieutenant Commander Sarah Mitchell, Elena's communications officer, looked up with concern. "Captain, we're receiving an emergency signal from the diplomatic mission on Zentara Prime. It's Ambassador Rodriguez, and the signal is weak." Elena moved to the center of the bridge. "Put it through, scrambled channel." The main screen flickered to life, showing Ambassador Carlos Rodriguez in what appeared to be a damaged room. Smoke drifted behind him, and the sound of distant explosions could be heard. His usually neat diplomatic uniform was torn and dirty. "Captain Vasquez, thank God you're receiving this. The Confederation has betrayed us. They voted 3 hours ago to eliminate all human presence in the galaxy." Elena felt the blood drain from her face. Around the bridge, her crew stopped what they were doing to stare at the screen. "Ambassador, that's impossible. We've been allies for 15 years. There must be some mistake." Rodriguez shook his head grimly. "No mistake, Captain. I was present during the emergency session. All 12 Confederation species voted unanimously. They claim humanity poses a threat to galactic stability due to our rapid technological advancement. They fear we'll surpass them within a generation." An explosion rocked his location and Rodriguez ducked. "They're hunting down every human in the diplomatic quarter. My security team is holding them off, but we won't last long." The transmission began to break up with static. Elena gripped the command chair. "Ambassador, we're coming to extract you. Hold your position." "Negative, Captain. Don't risk your ship. I'm transmitting all the intelligence we've gathered. The Confederation has been secretly monitoring our colonies for 2 years. They know our defensive capabilities and troop positions. Attack fleets are already moving toward Earth and our outer settlements." Rodriguez's image wavered. "Elena, they played us for fools. Every bit of technology we shared, every defensive strategy we revealed during joint exercises, they've been cataloging it all to use against us." The transmission cut to static. Lieutenant Commander Mitchell worked frantically at her console. "I've lost the signal, Captain, but I did receive a massive data transmission before we lost contact." Elena turned to her tactical officer, Commander James Park. "Analysis, Commander. What did we just receive?" Park's fingers flew across his displays as he processed the incoming intelligence. His face grew darker with each passing moment. "Captain, this is worse than we imagined. The data shows detailed surveillance reports on every human colony. They've been tracking our military vessels, mapping our supply lines, and even monitoring our communications networks." He looked up from his screen. "According to this intelligence, the Confederation has assembled attack fleets totaling over 800 vessels. They're targeting Earth, Mars, the Titan colonies, and all 17 of our outer world settlements simultaneously." Elena felt a cold anger building in her chest. For 15 years, humanity had trusted these aliens. They had fought alongside Confederation forces in 3 different conflicts, sharing their military innovations and tactical knowledge freely. Human engineers had helped design better shield systems for alien vessels. Human doctors had developed medical treatments that saved millions of alien lives. Human scientists had shared breakthrough discoveries in faster-than-light travel that benefited the entire Confederation. And all the while, these supposed allies had been planning humanity's destruction. "Time frame, Commander?" Elena asked. "Based on fleet positions and travel times, the first attacks will begin in 18 hours. Earth will be hit in approximately 22 hours. Park's voice was steady, but Elena could see the concern in his eyes. "Captain, our entire home defense fleet consists of maybe 60 vessels. Even with the colonial defense forces, we're looking at less than 200 ships total. Elena walked to the large viewports that showed the stars of the Kepler sector. Somewhere out there, alien fleets were moving toward human worlds, carrying enough firepower to wipe out her entire species. The Confederation had been planning this for years, studying human weaknesses while pretending to be friends and allies. But they had made one crucial mistake in their calculations. They had studied human technology and tactics, but they had never truly understood human nature. Lieutenant Mitchell, send an emergency transmission to Earth Defense Command. Priority Alpha encryption. Tell them we have confirmation of imminent attack by all Confederation forces. Include all the intelligence data from Ambassador Rodriguez. Elena turned back to her crew. Commander Park, plot a course for the Sol system, maximum speed, and send recall orders to every human vessel in this sector. As the Prometheus changed course toward Earth, Elena began formulating plans. The Confederation believed they understood humanity because they had watched human fleets in joint training exercises. They had seen human ships fight according to standard galactic tactics during the border conflicts. What they had never witnessed was how humans fought when their backs were against the wall, when their families and homeworlds were threatened with extinction. The journey to Earth took 14 hours at maximum warp. During that time, Elena's communications officer worked continuously, coordinating with human vessels throughout the galaxy. One by one, merchant ships, exploration vessels, and colonial patrol craft began converging on the Sol system. Many of these ships were not designed for combat, but their captains volunteered anyway. Elena realized she was witnessing something the Confederation had never seen before. They had observed human military exercises and battle simulations, but they had never seen humanity unite in the face of an existential threat. When the Prometheus arrived at Earth, Elena was shocked by what she saw. The orbital space around Earth, Mars, and the outer planets was filled with human vessels. Ships that had been scattered across dozens of star systems had somehow made it back in time. The Earth Defense Command had worked miracles in such a short time. Elena counted over 400 vessels of various sizes and capabilities. Admiral Marcus Chen, the head of Earth Defense Command, appeared on Elena's main screen. His weathered face showed the strain of the past day, but his eyes burned with determination. Captain Vasquez, your intelligence has given us the time we needed to prepare. Every human ship within 5 jumps of Earth has answered the call. Elena looked at the tactical display showing the assembled human fleet. Admiral, it's an impressive sight, but we're still outnumbered 2-1. The Confederation fleets have been specifically designed to counter our known capabilities. Admiral Chen smiled grimly. That's where they made their mistake, Captain. They studied our standard fleet tactics and our conventional weapons systems. But there are things about human military capability that we never shared with the Confederation. Projects that were classified above their security clearance level. Elena raised an eyebrow. What kind of projects, Admiral? The kind that we developed specifically in case our new alien friends ever decided they didn't want to be friends anymore, Chen replied. Captain, we've been in space for less than a century, but we learned early that the universe can be a dangerous place. While we were publicly sharing shield technology and propulsion systems with the Confederation, our military research divisions were privately developing weapons and defensive systems that no alien species has ever seen. The Admiral's words filled Elena with new hope. What are our orders, sir? The Confederation expects us to spread our forces thin, trying to defend multiple worlds simultaneously. They expect us to fight defensively, to retreat when faced with superior numbers. That's what their strategic models predict based on their observations of human behavior. Admiral Chen's expression hardened. Instead, we're going to concentrate our entire fleet and strike directly at the heart of the Confederation. While their attack fleets are scattered across the galaxy hunting our colonies, we're going to hit their homeworld with everything we have. Elena felt a surge of fierce satisfaction. The aliens had betrayed humanity's trust, but they were about to learn that humans were far more dangerous when that trust was broken. Which target, Admiral? Centaura Prime, the Confederation capital. It's where they hold their High Council sessions, and it's the central command hub for their entire military network. If we can take control of Zentara Prime, we can disrupt the coordination of their scattered attack fleets. Chen's tactical display showed the route to the Confederation homeworld. Captain, we're promoting you to Commodore and giving you command of the attack fleet's advanced scouts. Your mission is to clear the way for our main force. Elena accepted the promotion with a sharp nod. Understood, Admiral. When do we depart? In 6 hours. That gives our ship crews time to install the new weapon systems and defensive upgrades that the Confederation has never seen before. Elena, I want you to understand something. This isn't just about survival anymore. The Confederation betrayed us when we were at our most vulnerable, when we trusted them completely. They planned to commit genocide against our entire species while smiling and shaking our hands. The Admiral's voice carried the cold anger that Elena felt in her own heart. We're not going to just defend ourselves. We're going to make sure they regret this betrayal for the rest of their considerably shortened lives. As Elena prepared her ship for the mission ahead, she thought about Ambassador Rodriguez and his final transmission. The Confederation had indeed played humanity for fools, but only up to a point. They had underestimated the most important aspect of human nature, when humans were betrayed by those they trusted, when their families and worlds were threatened. With destruction, they didn't just fight back. They made sure their enemies never had the opportunity to betray anyone ever again. The human fleet was about to teach the Stellar Confederation a lesson about the dangers of betraying Earth's trust. It would be a lesson written in fire and steel across the stars themselves. Earth's wrath, unleashed. Commodore Elena Vasquez stood on the bridge of the Prometheus as the human fleet emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the Zentara system. The Yabayo sight that greeted them was exactly what Admiral Chen had predicted. The Confederation homeworld's defenses were minimal, with only a token garrison fleet of perhaps 50 vessels guarding the planet. The majority of the Confederation's military might was scattered across the galaxy, hunting human colonies that they expected to find defenseless. Tactical analysis, Commander Park, Elena ordered. Commander Park studied his displays intently. Commodore, we're detecting standard Confederation defense platforms around Zentara Prime. Approximately 30 orbital weapon stations and their home guard fleet. Their sensors are already picking us up, but they seem confused by our numbers. I'm reading increased communication traffic between their ships and the planetary defense grid. Elena smiled coldly. They're panicking. Their intelligence reports told them that Earth's entire fleet consisted of fewer than 200 vessels. They're seeing 400 ships and trying to figure out where we got the reinforcements. Lieutenant Commander Mitchell looked up from her communications station. Commodore, we're receiving a transmission from the Confederation High Council. They're demanding we withdraw immediately and requesting negotiations. Put them through, Elena ordered. The main screen showed the familiar chambers of the Confederation High Council. High Chancellor Vortex, a tall reptilian alien with green scales and yellow eyes, stood at the center of the council circle. Behind him, Elena could see representatives from all 12 Confederation species, their faces showing various degrees of surprise and concern. Human vessels, you are in violation of Confederation space, Vortex declared, his voice carrying the authoritative tone Elena remembered from diplomatic ceremonies. Withdraw immediately or face the consequences of your aggression. Elena stepped forward, her face showing no emotion. High Chancellor Vortex, I am Commodore Elena Vasquez of the Earth Defense Force. We are not here as aggressors. We are here as the victims of your betrayal, seeking justice for the attempted genocide of our species. Vortex's yellow eyes narrowed. We have no idea what you're talking about, human. The Confederation has always maintained peaceful relations with Earth. Then perhaps you can explain why your attack fleets are currently moving toward every human world in the galaxy, Elena replied evenly. Or why your forces murdered Ambassador Rodriguez and his entire diplomatic team 3 days ago. There was a moment of uncomfortable silence in the council chambers. Elena could see several of the alien representatives shifting nervously. Finally, Vortex spoke again, his voice lacking its previous confidence. The Confederation has determined that human expansion poses a threat to galactic stability. Preventive measures were deemed necessary. Elena felt her anger rise but kept her voice steady. Preventive measures. Is that what you call the planned extermination of 4 billion humans? High Chancellor, your preventive measures are about to have consequences you never imagined. She cut the transmission and turned to her tactical officer. Commander Park, signal the fleet. Begin the attack. Target their orbital defense platforms first. The human fleet moved forward in perfect formation. Elena watched as her ships deployed weapons systems that the Confederation had never seen before. The new plasma lance weapons cut through the alien defense platforms like hot knives through butter. The Confederation's shields, designed to withstand their own energy weapons, were completely ineffective against the human plasma technology. First wave of platforms destroyed, Park reported. Enemy home guard fleet is moving to intercept. Elena nodded. Deploy the Phantom fighters. From the larger human vessels, small single-pilot craft emerged and raced toward the Confederation fleet. These fighters were equipped with experimental cloaking technology that made them nearly invisible to standard sensors. The Confederation ships began firing wildly, trying to hit targets they couldn't properly see. Phantom squadrons report successful penetration of enemy formation, Park announced. They're targeting the Confederation command vessels. Elena watched as the alien fleet began to lose coordination. Their command ships were being systematically disabled by the invisible human fighters. Without central coordination, the Confederation vessels began making tactical errors, clustering together in defensive formations that made them perfect targets for the human fleet's long-range weapons. Commodore, we're receiving surrender requests from 12 Confederation vessels, Mitchell reported. Negative. No surrender accepted until we have control of the planet, Elena responded. Signal the landing forces. Begin planetary assault. The human fleet moved into orbit around Zentara Prime. Elena could see the massive cities of the Confederation homeworld spread across the planet's surface. This world had been the center of galactic government for over 3 centuries. From here, the Confederation had ruled dozens of star systems and hundreds of billions of alien citizens. Today, it would fall to human forces. Transport ships began deploying from the human fleet, carrying specially trained assault teams toward the planet's surface. These weren't ordinary soldiers. They were the products of Earth's classified military enhancement programs equipped with power armor and weapons that the Confederation had never encountered. Landing forces report successful deployment, Park announced. They're meeting heavy resistance around the government district, but our enhanced troops are advancing steadily. Elena watched the tactical display as human forces moved through the Confederation capital city. The aliens had planned for many scenarios, but they had never imagined human soldiers equipped with technology decades ahead of their own. The power armor made human troops nearly invulnerable to standard Confederation weapons, while their plasma rifles cut through alien defensive positions with devastating efficiency. Commodore, we have a problem, Mitchell called out. Long range. Sensors are detecting Confederation reinforcement fleets approaching from 3 different directions. Approximately 200 vessels total. Elena studied the tactical display. The Confederation had apparently recalled some of their attack fleets when they realized what was happening at their homeworld. But they were too late to save their government, and they were about to learn another lesson about human military capability. Deploy the Harbinger missiles, Elena ordered. Commander Park's eyes widened. Commodore, are you sure? We've never tested those weapons in actual combat. Elena's expression was grim. The Confederation wanted to exterminate our species. They're about to discover that humans can be far more thorough when we set our minds to it. The human fleet launched a salvo of missiles unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. These weapons were equipped with artificial intelligence systems that could adapt their attack patterns in real time. As the Confederation reinforcement fleets approached, the Harbinger missiles began their deadly work. The first alien fleet never knew what hit them. The missiles analyzed their defensive systems, found the optimal attack angles, and struck with precision that seemed almost supernatural. Within minutes, 80 Confederation vessels were reduced to drifting wreckage. Second fleet is attempting to retreat, Park reported. Let them go, Elena ordered. But make sure they get a good look at what happened to their friends. I want them to spread the word about what happens when you betray humanity. On the planet's surface, human forces had reached the government complex. Elena watched through the helmet cameras of her assault troops as they moved through the corridors of the Confederation High Council building. The alien security forces had been overwhelmed by human technology and tactics. "Commodore, ground team, leader reporting," came a voice through the communication system. "We have secured the council chambers. All 12 High Chancellors are in custody." Elena felt a moment of satisfaction. The beings who had voted to destroy her species were now prisoners of the humans they had tried to exterminate. "Excellent work, ground team. Establish a perimeter and await further orders." She turned to her communications officer. "Lieutenant Commander Mitchell, open a channel to all Confederation frequencies. I want every alien in the galaxy to hear this message." When the channel was open, Elena began to speak. "This is Commodore Elena Vasquez of the Earth Defense Force, broadcasting from the conquered homeworld of the Stellar Confederation. 3 days ago, the Confederation leadership voted unanimously to exterminate the human species. They launched unprovoked attacks on peaceful human colonies and murdered our diplomatic personnel." Elena paused, allowing the weight of her words to sink in. The Confederation leadership believed that humans were weak and easily defeated. They were wrong. "We have captured their homeworld, destroyed their fleets, and taken their leaders prisoner. But this is not the end of our response to their betrayal." She gestured to the tactical display, which showed the locations of Confederation worlds throughout the galaxy. "Every species that participated in the vote to destroy humanity will face consequences. Your military forces are scattered and leaderless. Your governments are in chaos. You attempted to commit genocide against 4 billion humans. Now you will discover what happens when humanity decides to return the favor." Elena cut the transmission and looked around her bridge. Her crew was watching her with expressions of awe and determination. They had just witnessed their species transform from the victims of betrayal into the dominant military power in the galaxy. "Commodore, we're receiving reports from human colonies throughout the galaxy," Mitchell announced. "The scattered Confederation attack fleets are retreating. Many are requesting sanctuary at neutral worlds." Elena nodded. "Let them run. They'll spread the word about what happened here. No alien species will ever again make the mistake of betraying humanity's trust." Admiral Chen's face appeared on the main screen. "Commodore Vasquez, congratulations on a flawless operation. The Confederation is finished as a galactic power. What are your recommendations for the next phase?" Elena looked out at the planet below, where human forces were establishing control over the former Confederation government. "Admiral, I recommend we establish a human protectorate over former Confederation space. We'll need to ensure that no alien species ever again has the opportunity to threaten Earth, and we'll need to make sure that the galaxy understands the new balance of power." Admiral Chen smiled grimly. "Agreed, Commodore. The Confederation thought they could eliminate humanity before we became too powerful. Instead, their betrayal has accelerated our rise to dominance by decades. The galaxy now belongs to humanity, and we'll make sure it stays that way." As Elena watched human ships patrol the orbital space around Zentara Prime, she reflected on how quickly things had changed. Just days ago, humanity had been junior partners in a galactic alliance, grateful for alien friendship and technology. Now they were the undisputed masters of this region of space, and their former allies were either prisoners or refugees. The Confederation had indeed played humanity for fools, but only for a short time. They had underestimated the most dangerous aspect of human nature. When humans were betrayed by those they trusted, when their survival was threatened, they didn't just fight back. They made sure their enemies never had the opportunity to threaten them again. The galaxy would remember the fall of the Stellar Confederation for centuries to come. It would serve as a warning to any species that might consider betraying humanity's trust in the future. Earth's wrath, once unleashed, was absolute and unforgiving. The Confederation had learned this lesson too late, but others would learn it from their example. Humanity had arrived among the stars as explorers and diplomats. Thanks to the Confederation's betrayal, they would remain as conquerors and rulers. It was a transformation that would echo through the galaxy for generations to come.